Hello, Elyon, the God Most High, God Sovereign. Let's be real. What comes into our minds when we think about God is the most important thing about us, right? But have you ever thought about the supremacy of God? We know that He is above all, right? So let's talk about what Elyon means. The word simply means the strongest of the strong and the highest of the high. Some cultures and religions speak of God as a part of the universe, right? But we know that God is not a part of the universe. He is the transcendent God, right? And what does that mean? The transcendent God? What does that mean exactly? Well, it's existing apart from and not subject to the limitations of the material universe. He is above all. He is the most high God. Jesus is our Elyon. In the book of Colossians, chapter 1, verses 16 through 17, it says, "For by him all things were created that are in heaven and that are on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions, or principalities or powers. All things were created through him and for him. And he is before all things, and in him all things consist." Amen. So I say again, God is above all things, and Jesus is our Elyon. So let's gain some understanding here. Along with the word meaning the strongest of the strong and the highest of the high, the term Elyon is a Hebrew name for God, meaning God Most High. When we gain understanding of Jesus as Elyon, you will find that understanding carries profound spiritual benefits for us. Let's discuss this. One, believing that Jesus is Elyon reinforces his position as the ultimate authority over all creation. This recognition can bring peace and confidence, knowing that Jesus holds supreme power over every situation in our life and life in general. Two, viewing. Viewing Jesus as the Most High God enriches our worship as it acknowledges his majesty and greatness. It encourages us to offer reverence and adoration that is due to someone of such exalted status. Three, we gain assurance that Jesus is in control of all things, not us. Believing and trusting this fact can provide comfort in times of uncertainty and difficulty, trusting that nothing happens outside of his will and power. Amen. Four, knowing Jesus as Elyon underscores the intimacy of the relationship we have with the highest being in existence. This can deepen the sense of being loved and cared for by a God who is both supremely powerful and personally involved in our lives. I love this. Amen. I love it. Recognizing Jesus' supreme power helps us rely on his strength rather than our own. This reliance can foster humility and a greater dependence on his provision and guidance. We are encouraged by the fact that Jesus as Elyon is greater than any earthly power or spiritual opposition. This hope can sustain us through trials and spiritual battles, knowing that victory is assured through him. Understanding Jesus as the Most High God motivates us to live in obedience to his commands. It serves as a reminder that his ways are higher and his purposes are perfect, inspiring a life of faithful service. And recognizing Jesus as Elyon can foster unity among us believers as we collectively worship and follow the supreme God. It emphasizes the shared belief in his ultimate authority and purpose for humanity. These spiritual benefits highlight the transformative impact of understanding and embracing Jesus as Elyon in our lives as believers. So let's recap what I just went over. Jesus is El Elyon. We receive these benefits: recognition of supreme authority, deepened worship assurance of sovereignty, intimate relationships, strength and weakness, hope and encouragement, motivation and obedience, unity and harmony. So here's the question. I set a mouthful or something to think about over this week. Does this world seem chaotic to you? Do your life seem chaotic? Do you worry about what's to come? You worry about the future. So as we look for God in the chaos of the world or in our lives, here are 5 factors that I want to focus on. I want you to focus on this week as well, that I believe will help us gain some understanding. One is the prayer factor. Know that prayer delayed is not a prayer denied. Amen. Just wait. It's not over yet. God has his own schedule. If you prayed in faith, your prayer is never landing on the ground. The power factor. Don't look at what Satan's up to and think God is in heaven wringing his hands saying, what do I do next? The Holy Trinity never meets in emergency sessions. God is sovereign. Satan cannot do whatever he wants. Sometimes, most times, we give him way too much credit. God allows him to do certain things. You need not worry. Satan is still on a leash and somewhat restrained, okay? The purpose factor. With God, timing is more important than time itself. God has a purpose. Everything is under his control. When God plans something, it cannot happen until the specific hour arrives. Not a speck of dust or a blade of grass moves without his permission. God is strategically moving in the world in his own timing. God doesn't punch a clock when he goes to work. Amen. And the perversity factor. When God takes the leash off and evil is no longer restrained, man's perverse determination to have his own rebellious way will be on full display. Ezekiel chapters 37 to 39 describes a great shaking coming to the entire world. Will it be an earthquake or an atomic war? What do you think? And here's the last one, the pride factor. Surely, with all that I just said, you would think man or woman will fall on their faces crying, God have mercy. As you reflect and meditate this week, remember God is in control. He is before and above all things. When the world gets crazy and seems out of control, we know who is seated on his throne. Think about how this can be a truth about God's character and how it increases your faith. For further study, read more in Genesis 4:14, Psalms 47:2, 61:2, and 92:1. Have a great weekend. Okay? El Elyon. Amen.